Hi, fourth graders. Today I'm going to be introducing you on how to create a Google form because we will be using those throughout the school year to collect data. Once you are in Google Drive, again, you're going to go to Create, and then you're going to be choosing Form. This will open Google Forms. The first thing that will pop up is the theme that you can choose from. So depending on the type of questions you're going to be asking or the information you'll be collecting, you might want to think about that with your background theme. Just for practice, since this is school, I'm going to choose the note paper. And you're also going to want to give it a title. So I could call this Class Info, and then that will save it for me. Now you're ready to think about the settings that you want. Here are the ones that are popping up, and it says required Dairy Township School District login to view this form. I'm going to take that off because you don't all have Dairy Township logins. And I'll say OK. You can automatically collect the usernames, show progress at the bottom of the form. I do want that. That way, the people that are answering the questions to the form will know how many questions they have answered, how many more that they need to do. Here you can see that we can have the question title and the type of question. So this first one is always a really good thing to have a text question. Find out who is answering your question. So the first one that I'm going to have is, what is your first name? And it's a text. So then here you can see that it's going to give you the option for their answer. Here you are going to want to choose whether you want it to be a required question. That means sometimes people can answer it or they don't have to. For this, I definitely want to know who is answering it. Here you can click on advanced settings and you can choose whether you want different types of data. I'm not going to have you worry about this for now. When you have that question done, if it's just a one question form, then you would click done. But for this, I want to have some more answers for you to do. So I would click add item. And again, you get to choose the type of question. So for this, let's do multiple choice. And I could do the question, how old are you? And here are the different options. So I could say 8 years old. Here I could say 9 years old. Here I could say 10 years old. And I could put 11 years old. And you can see here that it gives you the option that you could add other, where the person could type in their answer. Again, I want this to be a required question. And then I'm going to add another question. And I could say, for the type of question here, whether I want it to be a choosing from a list question. So I could say, what is your favorite pet? And choosing from a list, I could say cat, I could say dog, I could say fish, or maybe I'll just put other. And again, I'll make this be a required question. To show you another sample, you could create a scale question on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, and you give it a label. So I could say, how excited are you for 4th grade? And 1 would be very, or maybe I could say not excited, and 5 could be very excited. Now I could change it and I could make it on a scale of 1 to 10, and again I'll make this a required question. To show you another type of question, you could do a check boxes. So you could say, what sports have you played? And for the check boxes, option 1 could be soccer, could be basketball for another one. You could say tennis. You could say, you know, maybe a competition running. You could say baseball. You could say field hockey, and so on for examples. And again, you can have the option for adding other, and then people can check off their answers. There are other types of questions that you could play around with where you have a grid, you can do a date, and you could also do a time. I'm not going to take time to show you that, but later on when you have the opportunity to play around and create this, you can check out some of those. When you are finished with your form, your survey, you would click Done, and then you are ready to send your form. Here you can have a confirmation message. You could say your response has been recorded. I could change it and make it personal, and I could say, thank you for answering these questions. And here you can show a link to submit another response if you want the person to answer more than one time. I don't. You could make it public, or you could allow people to change their responses after they submit it and turn it in. I don't want any of those options, so now I'm ready to send the form. So I could click Send the Form down here, or if I wanted to at the top, I could click Send Form. Both work. When you're ready to send it, for this class, since we don't have personal websites, we will be entering them in. However, later when we get into blogging, you may have the opportunity to create a form and collect answers through the blog that you have. So this would be a place where you get the link for your blog, but that would be a discussion for another time. Here I'm going to share this, so I will just type in our personal account so that I can model this for you. And I'll click Send. Here, if you wanted to, you could add people that could help change and edit the form, and you would click Add Collaborators. But here again, I'm going to keep it just for me, but you could add people and you could change what their access point is and what they're able to do. Again, so I'm going to send it, and I'll enter my name in there. That'll come up, and I'll send it. And yes, I definitely want to invite someone from outside the school district. And then it will send it. When you have your responses, you can go into the form and you can view the responses, and it will be a spreadsheet here, and it will have the answers. In a moment, I'll answer the questions. In order to actually practice answering questions, what you'll do is go to your Google form, and just like you clicked on View Responses, you can go here to click View a Live Form. And this is one way that I'm going to show you how questions can be answered. So you would type in your first name. So here I would type in Allison. And how old are you? I'm going to click for the other box. And I am 30. What is your favorite pet? I'll say cat. How excited are you for 4th grade? I am very excited. What sports have I played? I have done soccer, basketball, and running. And then I'm ready to submit it. And you can see here at the bottom, this shows you, because we had selected how far you have gone. And you can click Submit. And it will tell you, here's our personal. Thank you for answering these questions. Now, to go back to the form that we did, you can click on the View Responses, and you can see here, this is the date and the time that I answered it, and here are the answers to the questions that we had created. So that is how you can view that information from the form that you have created. Now, when you're finished accepting responses, on your Google form, you can click that, and that will tell you that you are no longer accepting responses. We still want to be collecting responses, so you can keep that as being accepting responses. The nice thing again about this Google form is that all of the changes are saved. Now, what I would like you to do is to go on to our Google site, and I have created a Google form that I would like you to be answering. Once you are on our class Google Sites homepage, you're going to scroll down to Forms and Docs. Click on that link. And then you can see here is our Google Form practice number 1. And these are some things that I am going to be doing to ask you some questions. So I'll be asking you, what's your first name? Have you ever used Google Forms before? I'm interested in knowing how often do you use a computer, iPad, or iPod? And what do you use the computer, iPad, or iPod for? And this is going to be a short answer, and then you can submit your answer. And I am very anxious to hear your results.